Hey, hey, hey.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, great afternoon from Phoenix, Arizona, where we are always Phoenix rising. It is Thunder Thursday. I got my man, Mr. Richard Cabrera, the innovator, me, Dwelyn the glue. I call myself the glue. You know why? Because I like to bring people together. And whatever I say, I hope it sticks. Rich, how you doing, my man? So you know me from broadcast from California. Where are you at today?
I'm coming to you from Orlando, Florida. Actually, to be
Oof.
specific, Kissimmee.
Oh.
And I mean you kiss me right now. I'm joining you.
I hear that. So I live in Orlando, Florida. Shout out to Orlando, Florida. To the I really love living there. Now I was told that it's pronounced Kissimmee. Is it Kissimmee or is it Kissimmee?
Well, you from here, you know better than I do. I read it the way it says on the sign. That's how I do.
I guess if I wanted to if I wanted to introduce myself to one young lady out there, I would say, "Hey, kiss me, would you kiss me?" I guess I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a good gimmick. I'm working at an exhibit hall at a booth, and so it's a good gimmick to have to just start a conversation. So
right,
whatever it is, I'll call it. Most people don't know anyway because they're from here either. They're from all over the country, so
right. I hear that. Well, Rich, it's been about a month and a half since you and I have done a show. Like I posted earlier. Then for those of you all listening, we went on like a month and a half hiatus. Prior to that, we had our Kidney Trails Virtual Summit, and it was a major success. We had over 1,000 views. I myself could not be in front of the camera for the summit, but you better believe I'll be there next year. I would like to give a shout out to my two grandsons, Mr. Dyson and Denham Williams. They're in Memphis, Tennessee. The reason why I'm doing this is because Denham turned 4. This past May 13th, and I got a little I got an inbox from his grandmother. I sent them 3 drones, Rich, and she says to me, she said, "Dwelyn," she says, "you sent 3 drones." She said, "1 big one and 2 little ones." She said, "So who gets what?" She said, "I got 2 boys, I got 3 drones." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. How about the birthday boy get first dibs?" So
that's it.
I hear that. So Rich. So enough about me. So. What's been going on with you? How have you been? It's been a month and a half since I talked to you. Hey, Dr. Noopy, how you doing? All the way from the UK. That's Dr. Noopy. I see you. That's the glitter lady right there.
There you go. Sparkle it up. Right now, I'll tell you. It's been a big month for me. I just started a new job.
Right. Okay.
Company, new role, and I'm excited. I've been all over the country already in the first month that I've been in this position, spending time going out and talking about dialysis to people in skilled nursing facilities, which is new and different for me.
Okay.
I had a few of these programs where I worked before, but now I get to do this all over the Western United States. I cover 27 states now. So
27.
27. So I've been in Oklahoma City. I've been in Jacksonville, Salt Lake City. Next stop is San Diego next week, and then the week after that, I'm going to be in Indianapolis. Next month I'll be hitting Texas. So coming to a city near you.
Oh, I hear that, man. I hear that. To me and everyone else, man, you're traveling, man. I'm envious of that, but my traveling days are pretty much over as of right now, as far as professional wise. You said you visit 27 states. I lived in 28 states. As a traveler, so man, I'm kind of traveled out. But speaking of all the states that you're in, Rich. Our next gentleman we're going to bring up, I like to call him, I his name is Fred Hill, but I like to call him Fred Top of the Hill because, I say that because he brings the energy. He brings energy more than I do myself. Mr. Fred Hill, he is in South Carolina, so he's not that far from you. That's kind of like my neck of the woods. I'm from North Carolina. As you can see, I'm rocking the Fayetteville Woodpeckers hat. Shout out to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I'm from. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to bring to you South Carolina's own Dialysis Is Not Your Life, Mr. Fred, as I like to call Mr. Fred Top of the Hill. Mr. Fred, let's bring it on. Bring it on.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, hey, my man. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, Fred here. How you doing, brother? How's everything going?
Hey, everything is going great. Hey, I'm excited. I'm full of life. I'm ready, man. Hey, this is another opportunity you guys have given me to share, man. Hey,
yes.
Hey, I'm pumped up, man. I'm excited. It's 8:30 here in South Carolina, man. So listen, I'm just so excited. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I can't wait tonight. I just want to get on here, and just share, man, and love, man, and just hey, you know what I'm saying? We're here. I'm excited.
Oh,
Thank you
man.
guys.
I hear that, Fred. I ate earlier, so I guess since you haven't eaten, I guess you're gonna give it like a lot of food for thought. So speaking of, you're in South Carolina, Fred. I just told Rich that I'm from North Carolina, Fayetteville. That is. I'm rocking my Fayetteville Woodpeckers hat, as you can see. I couldn't be there. So Richard, you and Fred, you two have not met, as far as I know.
Nope.
So me, I'm gonna start running my mouth. I'm gonna let the audience hear Mr. Richard Cabrera speak to Mr. Fred. Gentlemen, I want to introduce you to each other, and I tell you what, gentlemen, take it away.
All right.
Hey there, Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, how are you today?
I'm really doing well. I'm really doing good. I'm just blessed. I'm gonna put that out there, man. God is good. I gotta put that out there. Yeah,
all the time.
We're living. I like that. Yes, good all the time. Yes, he is. So for me, man, I'm gonna say it like this, man. I'm living the dream. I'm saying it. I'm living the dream, and I'm excited. I'm here to share, man, and here to show some love, man, and here to receive and get and to grow, man. To know you, Rich. To know you. You know what? I've got a friend, Rich. What's going on, man? Yeah.
You know what? I'm not that far away right now either. We were just talking about that. How I'm here in Orlando and working in a conference that we work with case managers this week. Okay. And so, I get to talk about, different ways to educate patients and do all that this week, and spending time with people that don't really get a lot of interest from the dialysis industry. So it's cool because, these people are some of the, upstream folks that get first contact with patients, when they're hearing that news that, dialysis is inevitable. You're going to have to start thinking about your options. They're the ones managing that patient's experience and following them. So it's really good to have that audience to talk to them about, what we can do for patients so that we can try to help them be able to fit dialysis in their life instead of them, dialysis taking over their life,
Right.
So it's a real blessing to be here, and I'm excited to hear from you. And I want to go ahead and just, kick things off and just starting by asking questions. Because I know, a friend of mine, who's a friend of the show, Sam Trevino, always says this one thing that has always stuck in my mind is God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And the reason is so that we can listen more and talk less. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by asking the questions and just learning about you. So one of the things that I like to ask people about is, if you had 2 minutes to give me an overview of your story, what would that sound like?
Okay, I'm a condense, because those who know me, my story goes long today. And I'm a talker. I mean,
condense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do it like this, So my story starts with polycystic kidney disease. That's where I'm gonna start it there. I'm not gonna go in the background of my life. I told myself I'm not gonna cry today. Usually I break down and I'm crying and all of that. So I told myself that today. It starts with polycystic kidney disease. My sister came when I was 20 years old, and she said, listen, she said, I have polycystic kidney disease. It's generic, excuse me, it's generational. It's in the family and all. She said, so she lined all of us up and said, listen, you need to go get checked. So when I got checked, I had it. I had it. So I was in my 20s. So as I was going, always been in the gym, always been athletic, always, sports and all these different things. So for me, I never thought anything of it because I was good. I always basically watched what I ate, didn't those different things. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. But when that day came when my doctor told me it's time to make a decision. Now for me, it kind of messed me up because I'm like, hey, I'm doing good. I feel good. And I don't want to do this dialysis and everything. So I went and had another second opinion. He said, you should have been on there. Now, the problem for me, as polycystic kidney disease has ran in my family. So, and so my grandmother had it, my aunt had it, my sister had it, my cousin had it, my father has it, sister has it. So when it comes down to them, my grandmother died, my aunts died, my sister died, my cousin died. And so now they're telling me, Fred, it's time for you to go on dialysis. So all I knew how to relate dialysis was with death. So in my mind, Fred Hill is getting ready to die. So that right there took me to a place, man, to where I spiraled out to a place I stopped living. And so what brings me here now, fast forward to this, is coming to a place of realizing that dialysis is the second chance at life. When that really hit me and I came to understand, so I'm going to say it like this, because one day the excuse I've always lived by was, I can't because I'm on dialysis. My wife would say something you want to do, I can't because I'm on dialysis. My son, I can't because whatever. That was always my excuse. So one day my son came to me and he walked in the room and he said, Dad, and then he turned around. And I seen his face and he was about to ask me something, but he knew what the answer was going to be. And when I realized that, I woke up. I said, I can't be like this no more. This can't be my life. Dialysis cannot be my life. So I had to learn, man, how to live again, how to get my life back, and how to enjoy life, not to take life for granted. And so it brought me to the place where I am right now, to where I don't take life for granted. I don't take people for granted. I don't take opportunities for granted. Man, life is good in the good and the bad because it's what you make of it. And if God is in you, man, and the strength that you have, you're going to make it. And so the mindset for me, after all I've been through and all the hell, I'm sorry if that was wrong, but if all the trouble, the trials and tribulations and all these different things that I had to endure, man, I can't go back there no more. So the mindset is whatever the day brings, my choice is to live.
Yes,
that's me, man. That's
condensed.
That is.
I'm sorry. That's it.
No, you good.
It's not 2 minutes. Okay.
Hey, and I'll tell you, I mean, there's like, I hear that and I say to myself, there's people that have two different mindsets. There's those that have to do things and those that get to do things.
I like that.
You strike me as a get to, right? You get to do dialysis because you know that treatment is going to keep you going. It's going to give you the ability to fulfill your calling and really do what it is that you've been called to do. So I love that attitude. And I think that kind of leads us to kind of like the next step in your journey. And I know that this is something that I know I personally aspire to do one day, and that's become an author. Wow. And I think that, I would love to hear like what inspired you, what pushed that button in you to make you want to become an author.
I think, me wanting to be an author, I guess for me, it's always been, for me, it started with being a personal trainer, training people who are on dialysis. For me, once I really got my mind, that's what it is. Once I got my mind and saw dialysis as a battery to life. So that's the battery that you put into the baby doll, if you would. And then so that gives me that right. So that dialysis takes that position in my life and not take over my life, but it gives me the power I need to do. And so for me, I think about going into the clinics And it's just, man, it was just that mindset of seeing people. It's like death. Nobody wants to live. Nobody's talking. Nobody's living, if that makes sense. It's existing. It's like we're just there. And so going in and nobody talking. I'm in one chair and I'm looking over here and I'm there 4 hours and all you get is hello, how you doing? That's it. And so the mindset of seeing people, man. I've always loved life. And I still love life. And so I'm that one that laughs. I'm the comedian. I'm like you said, go get it, man. And so for me to come out, for me to make it out, for me to get there. And so the mindset is, if I can just get one, if I can tell someone not just my story, but how to do it. If not just what, but how to get out from where you are and to get your life back, get your drive back, get your sex life back, get your groove back. Go after your dreams, go after your desires. Understand, go back on vacation, love that wife that's right there, enjoy your son. If I can teach that through a book, then that's what I want to do, because I did it when I was training, but it was just 1 or 2 at a time, and it was only in my city. So the mindset is, let's make this thing bigger. And so how to do it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just started writing. I just started writing, man, and never knew that it would be on different continents. Never knew that this would be in New Zealand or in Austria, Australia. That blew my mind. And they're using it as a tool. They're using the book as a tool overseas in Germany and in London. And so to understand, I never would have dreamed, but the whole thing is, if I can get one, so let me write. So I just want to help somebody. I just want somebody to live, man, and to really understand that dialysis is not your life. It's not your life. You can find your life while you're on dialysis. And so for me, that's thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So it's available on Amazon.com. If you get it for somebody that you love, because I'm telling you, life is so precious. Don't allow what you're going through. And it don't have to be dialysis. It can be trouble in marriage. It could be health. It could be money problems, whatever it is. Don't allow that to be so big to where it controls your life. And so that book, it covers everything. You don't have to be on dialysis, but if you read the book, you will understand that your problem is really small if you know how to handle it.
Right. And I think, that book that you wrote, it's like, I think of something specifically that comes to mind. It's, and it's another scripture. It's to strengthen your stakes and lengthen your cords, because you're going to expand to the left. And and I really, when I think about that scripture and I think about your approach to this whole getting out, it's similar to why my career path has gone down the road it has, because I've always wanted to reach out to more than just my 4 walls, right? And I went from, being in a clinic to working with patients to going into, working an entire territory where I covered like 9 or 10 counties in one area, and to where I am today, now covering 27 states, doing what I do. And this is why I feel like we have that in common. We want to be able to reach as many people as you can for the good, right? That's what we're focused on, is like, we've got this little tidbit of information that can help people improve their situation, and it's important for us to get that out there, for even if it's just one person, right?
Right,
man.
So when I think about that, I don't know, Dwelyn, what do you? I mean, we got some people I think we need to acknowledge while we have them in the room. You want to give some shout outs, D?
Yes, gentlemen. Fred, love your story as always. Rich, thank you. I want to give a shout out to Jenny Gold on Facebook. Hi there, how you doing, honey? Also, Don Sheldon, she's from LinkedIn. She said, "You speak the truth." She's I always tell my patients to maintain their lifestyle as best as they can, because that will increase, their quality of life while on dialysis. And I can totally agree with that. And Fred, I remember, speaking of your book, I remember that you sent me your book a year ago. I went over the messages, and and like I told you today, I said I'm gonna send you a copy of my book as well. And your journey to becoming an author, had it not been for Anthony Reed, I would have became an author. And you probably can relate, when you're an author and you present a book and you publish a book, you're actually sharing yourself with the world.
Yes.
I remember you said on one show before, because you're on many shows, which I love, that I aspire to be like you. And I remember you said you and I share that same goal, is that we don't do it for the money. And you said it's not about the money. You know, as Anthony Reed and myself always says, you know, it's not passion and your purpose. You serve your purpose for your passion, because that comes first. The money will come later. And it's not just about the money, you know what I'm saying? So praise to you about that. Praise to you with that. And, you know, I see that you wrote that, you know, this book is dedicated to my son, Haven Ace Hill. I heard you mention about your son that was dedicated. So we give a shout out to him as well. And, you know, I do agree with your book. I have not read your whole book, but I read part of it. And it's not about somebody who's just on dialysis. It could be for anyone. It could be anyone. So, you know, therefore, man, I can say this. I salute you, man, for real.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that I know as dialysis patients that you experience, and I know there's probably been a lot of challenging moments in your life in dealing with that. How did you overcome all of those things? And I know you've got this positive energy and this passion for sharing with other people, but how did you get there? How did you find your way to that energy, and what did you learn from it?
I'm gonna say this, man, and I grew up, man, hard. I grew up hard. I mean, we were poor. We didn't have much, and I think I talked on one show. You know, I had two brothers that were above me, and then a sister above me, and then a sister under me. So my oldest brother, when he grew out of clothes, it went to my brother Rex. And so when my sister Tina, that's the one that actually passed away from polycystic kidney disease. So when her clothes were small, then therefore that's what I had to wear. So when you're looking at life, man, not being able to eat, I mean, wearing shoes with with the holes in them, you know, y'all may not know, but I mean, you would find cardboard, you know, you may have cereal and you cut the cardboard and you put that in the base of the shoe, or, you know, you weren't able to buy shoes. And so you would fold the back of the shoe down and put it in like a slipper and then let the hem out of your shoe. So you kind of look like, you know, everything is good. But, you know, in those times, Rich, so I look at life, man. Life was hard growing up, man. And then my mom died at 9. My father was in prison at 5, and my mama died at 9. So being raised with loved ones who treated you, man, abused you, and all these different things in life, man. And so when my stepmom came into the picture, that's when I was 13 then. That's when life started kind of changing and being in a place. I'm going to say it like this, you know, from the age when my mom died till I turned 13, I didn't have a bath. I mean, it's those different things. So you didn't have a bath, and so you're like, man, what did I smell like? And so so when you make it through that,
yeah, man, take your time, brother. Take your time. Take your time.
When you make it through times like that, and the reality is, you really didn't know how bad it was until you come out of it.
Right. Perspective.
Yes.
So the mindset is, if I made it through, let me take it back. If God kept me and gave me the strength, covered me and my brothers and my sisters to make it out of that, that's the mindset that I had to have. Well, you know, if you brought me out of this, I'll have that strength to make it through this dialysis. Now, in the beginning, it was hard because I really, truly thought that I was going to die. So coming to that place of understanding that God is really your strength, you know, I'm not trying to preach to anyone, but I'm just giving you where my strength lies, because I made it through some hard times. And so the mindset is, if I come out of that, I can come out of this. And the next thing that I may go through, I'm going to come out of that. That's why I said today, whatever life brings, man, bring it on. Because understand, I'm going to live through it. I'm going to conquer it. I'm going to triumph over it. For I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so that mindset of overcoming, Rich, it's not that things falls into your lap, but that mindset has got to be, I'm going to work. I'm a study. I'll do the research. I'll do whatever it is. I'm going to put the grind in, because the mindset is, I got to reset. There it is. I got to reset my life. I got to make a decision. I got to make a mental decision that gives me the power to change my life. Of anything that I don't like, I can change it if I put in the work, believe it. And so that's the whole mindset for me. And so and to understand that whatever you come through always makes you stronger. So for me to be in a place of not having a mom, being in a place of where when brothers and sisters, I lost 2 brothers to COVID, and the nephew that actually committed suicide. He was in the army, 26 years old. So those things, it'll spiral you. But the mindset is, man, I still got to live. I still got to get up. I got to get up for the ones, for my nephew. I got to get up for my brothers that passed. I got to get up for my sister, my mom. I got to get up for them. And so that mindset is, I cannot stay down. I can't. Because I got so much to live for and so much to pass on to my son, to my wife, for those who are watching, those who have my book. You got to understand that you cannot allow anything to define your life. You just can't. You've got to come here and here. And so whatever that, I listened to E.T. I love him with all my heart, but he said, if you ain't got that dog, if you ain't got that dog in here, I can't teach that dog, but you gotta have that in you. Understand that if you made it out of anything, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's on here is watching, we've all gone through something. And if you're still alive today, you made it through something. So if you made it through you can make it through whatever you might face again. So the whole mindset is, I'm not saying I don't go down or something hit me or whatever, but the mindset is, I can't stay there. I'm going to outlive it. Wow. I'm going to outlive it. That's my choice.
There you go.
No, I hear you. And I think, honestly, that's what, I'm sure that's what drives a lot of the success that you've seen in your life. Like you said, you find that inspiration. It gives you the motivation to keep getting up. And I think, I see you as an entrepreneur. That really, I really see that because, you're out there doing what you do, and it's unique to what you do. Right. It's unique to you. How do you feel as someone that's faced renal disease, how do you feel like you were able to get to that point? Like, I know you said, like, you came through all these things and you tell yourself these things in your head every day, but what would you tell somebody like me, for example, who wants to aspire to be an author and wants to be an entrepreneur? How would you tell me to go about that? If I said I need a map, what would that map look like?
I would say, first of all, it's a mind thing. You got to get this mind right. That's where it starts in you. To where you got to see yourself as I can do this. It starts in the mind. I'm gonna say this. My new word is impossible. That's my new word right there. Impossible. And if you're looking at just the normal definition, is saying that it can't be done. But when you break the word down, impossible is I'm possible.
That's right. That's right.
So it's possible for me to do it. It's possible for me to overcome it. It's possible. So that mindset comes in. And so, and also the thing that really helped me is the circle. So, it's family members that I love, but I had to cut them out of my circle. There are some friends that I love, but I had to cut them out of my circle because if I'm going to be positive and positive mindset, because being an author, it's terrifying. Anything that you do and you don't know who's going to want to hear, who's going to want to buy, who want whatever, even trying to get started. Those things are scary. And then people tell you, well, nobody wants to know. And this person did it. It didn't work. And so no, you gotta cut that circle, man. And then come to the place to where you get that researching how do you do it, and talk to people who have done it before. And so for me, there's a couple of writers, if you would, or authors here. And so talking to them and understanding, I know different ones who done books. And so with that helped me to push it and to write. And so having people in your corner, man, because for me, I'm that guy, just write how I feel, what I say. But then my sister-in-law, she's the principal. So for me to take whatever I have and give to her, and she make it make sense. So, just having these people in your life. And if you don't have them, reach out to me. I mean, whomever made for I mean, even when I didn't know what to do with this book, that's why I reached out to you, Dwelyn, when I seen the
You
kidney
did.
trail. I didn't know how to do it. But I
Right.
believe that when you do something, if God ordains you, he gives you, I mean, whatever that is, that entrepreneurship with, he'll create the avenue, he'll create the door. But you can't be afraid. I'm telling you, do it scared. Do it scared, because the
Of
mindset is
course.
you always feel like you're not good enough. You're
No,
always going to
right.
compare yourself to another author. You're always going to compare to this right here. But if you are so fearful to that and belittle yourself, so no, you got to do it scared. I mean, while you're
That's
nervous,
right.
do it. And one thing I tell people is done is better than perfect. You know, and that's sometimes
Ooh,
it's not going to be
yes.
perfect, but it just need to
Yes.
get done. And when you get
That's
it done,
right.
it'll be the Dwelyns, it'll be the Riches to say, hey, listen, man, if you do this, if you change this, however, man, they'll help you make it perfect. Just get it done. So whatever it is that you desire to do in life, don't allow anything to hold you back, and don't allow yourself to hold you back, even if you failed before. Wow.
That's right.
Even
right.
if
Oh,
you failed
wow.
before. Because the mindset is, if you look at Fred Hill, I failed so much, but one thing I realized is failure is not failure unless you quit. When you quit, then you fail. The understand
right.
is when you mess up, you learn. You learn.
That's right.
And so that's the mindset. You cannot ever give up. And the thing is, sometimes we have that mindset that we're going to take over the world. But the thing for me is, if I can get if one person bought my book, I've done what I was supposed to do.
You're right about that, brother. Yes,
Yes.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that. I don't mean to cut you both off. I can attest to that, Mr. Hill. That's why I call you Mr. Fred, top of the hill. I want to get a shout out to Dr. Newbie in the UK. She said 20 minutes ago, she said she should have been asleep. But honey, I hope that you are still watching. I would like to also get a shout out to Don Shutter. She said, Fred, your perspective is rare but so refreshing.
Wow.
And coming all the way from Ohio, we have a Miss Mary Wells, Mary Oh So Wells, as I like to call her. Fred, that's right. Mary Wells said we win from beginning. That is so true. Fred, I don't know if you're connected with Mary Wells, but you should connect with Mary Wells on LinkedIn. I definitely should. I think you two can. You definitely can make things happen. Fred, to piggyback off what you said, as far as Rich kind of mentioned to you in some around the way, is your journey and what you've done. I love the fact that you went through what you went through. You went through the advocacy stage, and not to say that advocacy is a bad thing, but with advocacy, I firmly believe that people get comfortable with it, and you went beyond and you did something about it. I mean, you only can march so long, you only can preach for so long, but when you put this book out, man, you actually did something. And like I said, no disrespect to anybody doing advocacy, but like I said, and I'll say it again, you can only preach for so long, you can only march for so long, but it's time for you to do something. I myself, in my profession as a technician, I wanted to do more. And that's why, with the help of Anthony Reed and the Kidney Trails, I was able to publish this graphic novel, and there'll be more to come. And I'm so glad that you reached out to us, a year ago. I mean, much respect, and we're glad that we could, give praise. We could also motivate, encourage, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to give you a shout out to that, man. I want to thank you,
Well, that same thing is here, man, because honestly, it's because of you. It's because of Anthony Reed that, every show that I've been on, it has helped me. I mean, in next Friday, surgeon, one of the surgeons that does the
access
surgeon.
Yes.
So he called, and I have the opportunity to go to Charleston and speak to doctors on next because of the story, because of the book, and the things that he's heard from other nephrologists and other surgeons. And so but everything actually began with you guys, and I just want to tell you guys thank you, because one thing that you said is I had to learn to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. And I think that right there, be like what you said before, when you get comfortable, you settle. And so the book, I'm grateful for the book. I'm grateful for the things that's happening with the book. But the workbook, I'm going to give y'all a brief. This right here is this is, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is the workbook that's actually will be coming out for the book, because the book will tell you what you should do. But the workbook tells you how to do it, and I'm there with you. And so from the workbook, I went back to school, and now I'm a life counselor, so I can do the one-on-one and the groups for those who with kidney disease and those who are on dialysis. And so the mindset is continue to build and don't stop, because again, good enough, sometimes good enough is not good enough. And I mean,
that's right.
When you realize that, because sometimes you think your gift is so good and this is good, and you settle, you're missing it. There's so much more to do. There's still more to do. And so you got to tell yourself, I'm not going to be comfortable here. I'm step to the next level and be uncomfortable. So I sat down with therapists. And so what is this about? What do you do? And so that mindset of looking at, because like Mary says, we win from the beginning. And see, that's the mindset. As I was saying, I told someone today, he asked me, he said, man, you're so positive, and he was just going so far in everything. And he said, Fred, what is it? What about? I said, listen, man, I said, I'm not arrogant, but I understand in my mind, I can do anything. And I said, I'm not being arrogant, because being arrogant is saying that you just trust your talent, or you can get up and you can do it. But I'm talking about, I feel that I can do anything because I understand, first of all, who I am and whose I am. I understand the circle that I'm in, and I understand the work that you got to put in, that nothing falls into your lap. Nothing is given just free to you. You got to put in the work. You're going to lose some sleep. But if you desire to change your life, because this is one thing I believe is you have to choose your heart. And that's the mindset for me. So if you are overweight, either you're going to choose to stay overweight, or it's going to be hard being overweight, and it's hard losing weight. So choose your heart. It's not going to be easy. But the thing is, you need to choose the heart that's going to change your life. That's the heart that you got to choose. So it's hard living broke, and it's hard getting your bills and getting things, understanding money, although that's hard too. But when you do that hard, it'll pay those bills off. So that mindset of what you're looking at, it's hard living on dialysis. I've been there, but then there's work that you've got to do to understand that even though I'm on dialysis, I can still live a great life. I can have a great life. I can do those things to get my sex drive back, and do those things to get my strength back, my energy back. And I mean, and understand this dialysis thing, and not just looking at whatever the doctor says, but understand this and work with your doctor, your nephrologist, your dietitian, because it's your life. It's yours. Yeah.
That's right. That's all right. That's all right. I agree.
Now, totally this is going to come out of left field, though. This is going to come out of left field. So I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Are you coffee or you tea? Which one are you?
I'm gonna put. I drink both, but I like coffee better because I can put the French toast cream in there. So that's my choice because of the creamer. I put it that way. I have my wife. I said, baby, I'm on side of the creamer. I need to get my creamer, please.
Oh my goodness!
So
now you sound like a dialysis patient. Now you sound like a dialysis patient right there.
Yes.
I hear it now.
Yes.
No, and it's funny because I feel like that's the last thing you need is any more caffeine. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, I'm just being honest. Like I said before, man, when I tell you I love life. I love life because the reality is this, and that's for all of us who've been on dialysis. If dialysis was not here, we would have been in the grave. So for me, man, I love life because I didn't die, man. I didn't, even when I thought I was gonna die, I didn't die. And so that mindset to me, man, is life pumps me up, man. Because I think about when I thought I was gonna die, literally everything around me began to seem like death. I mean, my marriage started, shriveling. I mean, my health was going down, relationship with my son. I mean, everything around me looked like death. Why? Because I was walking death. I was a zombie walking dead. But the mindset is of coming to a place to understand life, man. Things shine around you. And not only just around you, but when people come into your presence, they begin to shine. And so that's the whole mindset of life, man, is to where you give it. You let your light so shine. This little light of mine, that's what it is. That little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And so that mindset right there, man, I'm going to be a light wherever I go. I'm going gonna shine wherever I go. Not trying to be arrogant, anything of that nature, man. But I'm gonna speak to somebody. I'm gonna smile at somebody. I'm gonna laugh. Whatever it is, man. Because life is good, man. Life is good, and I'm alive. I'm alive. And so that's the mindset, man. Dialysis is not your life.
That is true, brother. That is so true. I'd like to take a shout out for Mr. Tim Action Jackson. He said, "Your gifts will make room for you." Congrats, Fred. He told you congratulations. Also, Dawn Sheldon says that is awesome. She said, "I love the idea of the workbook," which I think is great as well. Mary Wells, she said, "We can always do better." And Dawn said, "You can put cream in tea." You know,
I've never had cream. Is it milk in tea? I don't know. I guess I haven't tried it. I've never thought about the milk and tea.
I will say this: when I lived in upstate New York, I mean, I had renal, and I don't like to say patients. I had individuals that I provided care that suffered from renal failure. They had tea in their lobby, and one gentleman said, "I need some creamer in my tea." So I guess don't knock it till you try it. I don't know. I mean, so Fred, let me ask you a question out of left field. Let me ask you one, because we're 40 minutes in. We got like 20 more minutes. Okay. So I know me, when I get into my mood or when I feel kind of down, I'm a music lover.
Yes.
And what song gives me inspiration is, and it builds me up is, from the soundtrack of Black Panther, Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd had this song called "Pray for Me."
Yes.
And there is this one verse that says, and it always uplifts me. It says, "When my fate come, I live by my own law."
Yeah.
And I'm getting goosebumps about whenever I say it, and so every time I listen to that song, I get in my mood, I get in my moment, and it takes me back to what I need to do and what I have to do. So if you could, and I would like to say that's probably my theme song, to myself. Yeah. So what would you say after all you've said? What's a song that comes to you that brings everything to light? All what you've been through, your family, your friends,
wow.
Beyond advocacy, you being a renal warrior. What's one song?
I say this, because again, I love God. I mean, I do. Yeah. I listen to all genre. I listen to all music. I listen to rap, country. I listen to it all. Right. I listen to everything. But there's a song by Marvin Sapp that says, "Never would have made it without you." He said, "Never would have made it. Never without you." He said, "I would have lost it all. But now I see that you are there for me." And he said, "I'm stronger, I'm wiser, and I'm better. I'm so much better because of you. I made it." And so that's the song from me that actually sums my life. And the song is actually I think it's called "My Testimony," if I'm not mistaken. Right. But that song, man, for me, that song really kept me in those hard times. I can say that, and so it gives me, and I pull on what I've come through before. And so for me, it really helps me. And then again, I have an awesome wife, man. My wife is absolutely awesome, man. And so being there for me, I call her baby doll. The name is Phyllis, but that's my baby doll. I mean, I love my wife. She's just that strength, that pillar, man. And going through that. And I love it because she don't petty me, if that makes sense. So if there's something to where, I might start complaining, well, you got this to do. And I may say, well, you need to get this done. Didn't you say you need this, blah, blah, blah. And then I got, the coolest son that I said, this is my ace, that's my high card. I always win. Man, that cat, man, he's 21 now, but he's always been that constant when everything else was going crazy. And as much as I love God, listen, y'all, there'll be times in life where it seems like God has forgotten about you, like God ain't on your side, like God don't even love you. I'm just being honest. Some of y'all I'm just being honest. I mean, that's the walk. But the thing is, who's always been constant is that my son Haven. And so even when it felt like God left me, my son was right there. And I'm not putting him over God or nothing like that. I'm being real, because it keeps you to a place where it's okay, God, me, the song and the family, my brothers, my sisters, my day. I have a great, because I look at with dialysis, man, and the same as life. Whatever you go through, you don't go through by yourself. I think about the times when I had some issues and I had to be rushed to the emergency room. dealing with the machine at night. There was the peritoneal. It was filling, but it wasn't flushing, if that makes sense. And so,
PD.
So that PD. And so with that, man, I had a hard night. We had a hard night. And so eventually everything worked out. And so when we got to the doctor, like, I need to see you in 2 days. So I got there 2 days. So, well, there was a scare. You had me scared and blah, blah, blah. So everybody was right and circling me and making sure I was good. But my wife was right there. She lost sleep. She was scared about her husband. We had to drop my son off at his grandmother, because it was like 1 a.m. His mind, what's going on with daddy? And so they were going through too. And so, sometimes, we miss that. And so for me, that's the thing. So I got to make sure that I show the gratitude and the love. And so with all that as well, man. And so, I'm just grateful, man, for it all. And you guys, I mean, I'm grateful for all of you, man. I appreciate, I really do. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I'm going to let Rich ask you a few more questions, but I want to give another shout out to Marywell. She says, shining missional lights, which I know you can agree. And Anthony Reed, the CEO, the man behind the plan, the man with the plan behind the scenes of the machines. He says, it's interesting action is the step beyond advocacy. He said, but few take it. He said that'll kind of make you think, and that's piggyback on what I said about advocacy. And in retrospect, you definitely have proven that.
Wow, man. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and that's something, you said something there about the advocacy piece and about taking the next step. And I think, I work with a lot of patient advocates across the country. I've worked with a lot of them over the years, and I, and they call them patient advocates, but I really feel like these are inspirational advocates. They're not because they touch more than just patients, right? They're not out there just talking to the patients. They're talking to the physicians. They're talking to the nurses. They're talking to the family members. They're talking to, and even now in these situations, I'm starting to get these guys in front of, case managers and every component, every component of the healthcare system that really has control over, the information, the education, the opportunity to maintain control of your life as a dialysis patient. And, and I know, Fred, I don't know if you know my story, but my first experience with a home modality was with my dad as a patient. Wow. And I had already been working in the industry for a good 10 years. And, so the piece about having somebody who can get to that level of being able to share their experience as a patient, as a person on dialysis, as someone with that perspective is so much more credible. And it's just so good to hear you do it in such a positive way, because I wouldn't say you're, like you said, a patient advocate. I would call you an inspirational advocate.
Wow, man.
Being out there sharing your story is really kind of, opening it up from a different perspective and showing not just the people that are on dialysis, but everybody else out there, how important it is to play your role, right? To play a role in impacting those people's lives. That's one of the things that stood out to me is that, when my dad got sick, it was like all of a sudden it became real. I've said it before on this show, like, all of a sudden when I walked in that dialysis center floor, I didn't see patients. I saw people. I saw aunts and uncles, moms and dads, grandma and grandpa. They were the people who were important to somebody. And I started thinking about all the people behind them, the people who were dropping them off or taking care of them when they came home, and thinking about how much bigger of a role I could play. And so I would say there's people out there who are, are renal warriors, right? Like we call them renal warriors. What would you say to inspire them to do things like what you're doing, and maybe not exactly what you're doing, but to find that one thing that they can do to help improve the situation of someone out there, whether it's a person on dialysis or a family member or care partner or whatever it might be. What is the one thing that you would say to that renal warrior to help inspire them to see it through to their calling?
I think everyone, because the one thing is I want to make sure is that, everybody's not going to have the same call or the same purpose that I have or that you guys have. And one thing that I want to say is that you cannot compare your gift. I think that's one of the biggest things. I may be an author, and I thank God He's given me the gift of penmanship. And I can, I'm a motivational speaker and those different things. And I thank God that He's blessed me to do that. But then there are some people who has this smile. There's some people that can come in and their smile will just change their, we've all met them to where they come in and they just smile and they tell you good morning. And it was one of those mornings that you were just like, I don't want to be here. It was a hard day, a hard night, but that smile, or it might be a hug. It might be, you can't look at it as being a small thing. So whatever that gift is, don't compare it. I'm going to put it this way. It all works together. Because right now I'm not the technician, but I'm here. But without the technician, this wouldn't be working. So it's whatever that gift is that you have, use that gift and don't compare it to anyone. Because my mindset is this: whatever gift you have, you got to look at it as this is big. Because if you look at whatever you do, I'm gonna say it this way: someone invented the little plastic thing that goes on the end of the shoestring.
Someone
did. So the mindset is, look how small that might seem to be when somebody says, hey, I can put this little plastic tip on and you can put your shoe thing. Nobody thinks about that. But someone's gift, that small thing, it doesn't compare to medicine. It doesn't compare to coming up with big tools, and it does, but look how it changed our lives.
You're right.
So whatever that gift that you have, man, listen, use it. It doesn't matter. Don't compare yourself. Just go. If you write poems, write that poem. Go for it. Whatever it is, that's my word to you today. Is don't sit down on it, because some people will look at it and say, well, no, I can't do that because Rich, he traveled in 27 states, so I can't do this.
Yeah,
if you can go to 2 cities, do that. So whatever it is. If you go to 2 clinics in the same or 1 clinic, it's more than what someone else is doing. Somebody's sitting twiddling thumbs. So if you can go 5 o'clock, remember your dialysis. I remember going to o'clock in the morning. I done had my transplant, but I'm back up in there. I'm encouraging. I'm passing out little treats and goodies and everything, and I'm talking to them. Even to the point of COVID, that you can't come back no more. Because the whole thing is, I want people to live and understand. I'm giving free books and all this stuff out when I was giving manuscripts. And so, but read this. So it's that mindset, hey, I just want to change a life. I wasn't even looking at it as a book. I was just writing. As I said, I was just writing, man. I really
live in your power spot. Live in your power spot.
Yes.
Oh man.
So that's that to me, man. That's the mindset.
I'm gonna make a movie reference here. So that little plastic thing, just so you know, like there's this movie, an older movie called Cocktail with Tom Cruise, right?
Yes.
In that movie, they called that little plastic thing a flugel binder. So somebody's got to go out there and make that flugel binder, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Hey, Fred. You mentioned earlier about the cardboard and the shoes. So that's a form of engineering. So I guess you need to name that as well, right?
I guess the shoe within the shoe or something like that. I don't know, man. It worked good when you step in the puddle. When you step in the puddle, man, it didn't help you, but it worked pretty good. If you step on a rock, a pellet. So you'll be all right. You'll be all right. I'm trying to tell you, but I made it. I'm trying to tell you. So hey, that's the good thing. Yes, sir.
Hey man, we can pull life lessons out of all that. You step on that first rock, it'll hurt, but after you step on about 10 or 20 of them, you don't even feel it anymore. Right.
Because sometimes the rock get in your shoe, especially you trying to you out there. That was like. What if the 7th, 8th grade or whatever? So you got the shoes on, and so you really couldn't take good steps. So you didn't want to bring your foot all the way up because so you slide in your shoe. you had to learn. You had to learn how to groove when you walking. So you look like, hey, I got this thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They don't know. I'm just seeing like he glide. Fred looked like he gliding over there, but they didn't know I had holes in the bottom of my shoes. So, you gotta just understand. So that's the whole mindset, man. Hey, I couldn't change it. This is one thing I wanted to say. Because if you can't change the situation, you can change how you respond to it. I couldn't buy my own shoes at the time, but the thing was, you slip it in there, and I had to still live and enjoy myself. I knew my pops couldn't buy me nothing. I couldn't get any more. So, however, the mindset is, whatever I got, I work it. The funny thing was, I shined my shoes with the hole in it. I'm trying to tell you, when I shined it. Yes.
So by you shining, you can honestly say that it wasn't rock bottom.
Exactly. Like I said, the whole mindset is, back then, you gotta live, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
So I'm still talking to the girls with holes in my shoes, no money. Went home, didn't have no lights. Well, can we go to your house, watch a movie? No. Can I come to yours? You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is. So, just that mindset. I'm still gonna live, enjoy myself, man. Yeah.
Man, that is too funny. Too funny. I love it. Man. Fred, it was we got 5 more minutes. It was great talking to you, man. I'm glad that we got to see a different perspective of you as far as your book, your life. I'm so glad that you and Rich got a chance to meet each other. And Rich, I want you to tell that story. I don't know if Fred heard it. Fred, you mentioned twice about as far as sex and intimacy that maybe a renal patient may or may not want to speak on that. So I'm going to get Mr. Rich to tell you a story about his interaction with an individual, and then we're going to close it out with that. Rich, take it away from me for a second.
Yeah. So I tell this story quite often, when I first started training patients to do home hemodialysis back, this was back probably about 12, 15 years ago. I was also responsible for talking to patients and educating them. So I'd get a call from the in-center charge nurse, and he'd say, "Hey, we got this new patient that we think might be a good candidate. You might want to come over and talk to him." And before I knew anything, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do my job. I would just go in there and just vomit information all over these folks and expect them to make the right decision without ever asking a single question. And so what I did was I went over with this guy, and I had all the answers, right? Because I know it all. I already know everything. I know why they should want to do it. I know what all the benefits are. I know why can't you just hear it and make the right decision, right? Without knowing what was going on with them. And so I come over and I'd sit down next to this guy in the chair, and he's not even paying attention to me. It's new to dialysis. He's just kind of taking it all in quietly, not really engaged, not talking to anybody, barely acknowledging that I'm even there. And I'm just vomiting information all over him, just like right all over into his lap and all over the chair right there, just kind of saying, you should want to do this and that and this and that because you're this, you're going to have more energy, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, you're going to have all this stuff. Went through all the laundry list of everything and why you should do it. Never even looked at me, never made eye contact until the very end, the last thing, because this one thing was very uncomfortable for me to talk to. I mean, I was in my early 30s at the time. And, I'm talking to a guy who's probably about old enough to be my dad at the time. And I said, oh yeah. And by the way, patients that do more frequent therapy can have improved sexual function and improve libido. And his eyes opened up like saucers, like big. He looked over at me with this most sarcastic grin on his face. And he said, if you'd have just said that in the first 5 minutes, you wouldn't have had to waste all the other time telling me the rest of that stuff. And the funny thing about that story is not just that he called me out on the spot.
Yes.
What I realized at that point is I never once asked that man what was important to him.
Yeah.
And so going forward, that's been my opening question is, if you didn't have to be here in this center on this machine today, what would you be doing with your time? Yeah. And I think that's where I started to connect with people and not treat them like they're just a job I had to do, but really
like people.
A connection I had to make, because if I didn't make that connection, that man's life was at stake. Wow. That woman's life was at stake. Because if I didn't do a good job with them on that moment, they might not make that decision that was going to help them move on to that next thing, and then let them become that inspiration for someone else. So I had to learn to do my job better, but I think that that's kind of where D was taking it there, because you do that so well.
That's good. That's good.
That wasn't me. Not now I can do it. That was still, but you still do it better than I do.
That's awesome, man.
Goodness. That is
awesome.
different.
But to piggyback off of that, that's one reason why I wrote the book, Dialysis of If you ain't got it, y'all, go to Amazon.com. It's on Amazon.com. But the reason why I wrote the book, when I went on dialysis in 2012, we didn't have the Rich and Dwelyn show. There was nothing really out there. And the only thing that you could find was to tell you about dialysis, tell you what you should and should not eat, tell you about checking your vitals, your phosphorus, your potassium, and all those different things. But there was nothing out there that told you how to live while you was on dialysis, how you can still live good and live your life and enjoy your life and love your wife. And like you say, and I say all day long, get your sex drive back, get your sex life back. I'm telling you, it changes everything. So and you really can, because the thing is, we learn about dialysis. You go through the classes, but they don't tell you how to fix your confidence. They don't tell you how to fix that mindset when you feel weak and you feel vulnerable. They don't tell you how to fix that. I don't feel sexy because of what's in my arm or what's in my belly. And you feel nothing is out there. So I had to write Dialysis Is Not Your Life, so that you can get I was on the beach with the little thing taped up with my shirt off. I'm telling you, I'm living. I cannot allow it. So that mindset is to understand, to enjoy your life, go on vacations and all those different things. Not because the doctors got that part, you know what I'm saying? You're going to work with your doctors and everything. But when it comes to living, my wife, she wasn't going through it. She really couldn't understand what it felt like, because she's saying, well, you still look good, but I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like when I took my shirt off and I got that fluid in my belly and it's all swollen, I didn't feel like I was sexy. So, what about women are more self-conscious than we are? And so that mindset is, listen, I had to get into that gym and start working and understand, even though I'm on dialysis, I'm still my weight worth in gold. I'm still sexy. I'm trying to tell you, I still got it. I still got my groove. And so when you walk in and understand that it's not your life, it's like going to the gas station. You get your gas and you move on. You don't live at the gas station. So when you finish that, when you disconnect, let's go live. Let's go get my life back. And so that's why I had to write. Dialysis Is Not Your Life, because there was nothing out there to tell us you can live great, live good, get your life back. Like I said, your drive, your groove, your vacations, everything is smile. Wow, I'm talking about going and say, I want to get this over and get out of here so I can go live.
There you go. Oh man, gentlemen, we've hit our hour, and then don't be sorry. Hey man, time is of the essence, and I believe time is an illusion. But I tell you this, we want to thank for all our viewers that are watching, and those who will be watching on the record. So, gentlemen, do any of you all have any final thoughts before we leave?
I would say Fred Hill is the man.
Fred, top of the hill. That's right.
Fred, top of the hill is the man. I've had just a great time here, getting to know you, and just hearing you kind of think. And I've heard you before on other platforms and doing other shows and stuff. But it was a pleasure to meet you in the real time, and I look forward to staying connected and hope that we can do some work together down the road.
Yes,
I hear that. Man. Yeah. Fred, you have any closing remarks, my man? Anything you want to tell anyone?
I just want to tell everybody, for you guys first, thank you for this opportunity to be here to share.
No problem.
I appreciate Anthony Reed behind the scenes. I just want to say thank you to you guys and to all those who are watching. Listen, do not allow dialysis to define your life or whatever trouble or calamity. I want to say this, and I'm going to close it. This is Winston Churchill. He said, never let a good crisis go to waste. And that is the most powerful statement, because in crisis, you're going to take flight, or you're gonna faint, or you're gonna fight. And so in crisis is where answers. Somebody said, I'm not gonna run. And so whenever crisis comes, somebody comes up with an answer, or somebody comes up with an invention, because they did not allow a good crisis to go to waste. So understand, whatever you face in life, no matter what it is, don't allow that to go to waste. Learn from it. Invent. I mean, that's how entrepreneurship comes forth. So I just want to throw that out there. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Oh man, I love it. Gentlemen, you both been great. You know, I'll leave with these closing remarks that it's a saying that I live by, that I learned to. I forgot who said it, but you know, it says that everyone you meet has a last day with you.
Wow. That's
you know, and talk about time. So, you know, you cherish it well and be humble. So, ladies and gentlemen, our LinkedIn audience, our Facebook, Twitch, all of you all out there, Instagram, LinkedIn, we want to thank you all for joining us. And you got Rich Cabrera, the innovator. You got Fred, top of the hill. I'm Dwelyn. I'm the glue. I like to bring people together, and I hope what we all said, I hope it stick. Y'all stay nice, and like we always say, the kidney trails, we want to make your story valuable one word at a time. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I'm nice. Thank you.
Have a good night.